is Gucci? It's Majin AN with this late night fantasy football update for the NFC. Right now, we're in my favorite division and one of the most frustrating divisions in football, and possibly the weakest division in football, the NFC East. As an Eagles fan, yeah, I'm not proud of that. But yeah, let's start off with the Cowboys. Or should I say the Cowgirls? I'm a Cowboy hater. Arrogant ass team. QB wise, Dak Prescott is a must start. He came back from a very brutal injury and has been playing like he hasn't stopped. He was must start then, he's must start now. Very, very versatile QB. As for the receiving core, high fantasy value. Amari Cooper is must start on most occasions. He's been having a rough time fantasy wise, but he's getting back. He is must start as the lead receiver. CeeDee Lamb is also startable, or must start because he's one of Dak's favorite targets. So yeah, it's something. Let's see. Michael Gallup, if he wasn't in IR, he would have decent flex value. Maybe even higher than CeeDee Lamb. Value than. But yeah, it's. Never knew his. And then there's that Wilson receiver. He's doing great too. Flexible. He's on the flexible. Now for the tight ends. Blake Jarwin 2 seasons ago used to be the starter until he got injured for the rest of the season. And Dawson, no, let's see, and then Dawson Knox. No, Dalton Schultz took over. Dalton Schultz actually is now getting close to the must-start category for flirting with the must-start category for tight ends. He's startable now. Took over the starting job from Jarwin completely, and he's been a heavy part of the Cowgirls passing game. Now it's time for the running backs. I'm like I said, Zeke Elliott. Not much to say about him. We were worried he might not live up to his must-start status anymore since last season happened, and he struggled. But he's back in the must-start status. If you have Zeke in your fantasy team, must start. He's looking strong again. Very good. Now, Tony Pollard, another fantasy surprise. He's great. He's a great flex, or if desperate and out of RBs, startable. He and Zeke have been killing it as a 1-2 punch. So yeah, that's a thing. Now we go to their defense. The Cowgirls' defense has actually improved significantly. So yeah, it's startable. It's possibly still matchup dependent, but it is very startable. So that's one thing I can say. Works. Yeah. Now it's time for the Washington football team. The nameless football team. Very interesting fantasy-wise, actually. First, we go to the quarterback, Taylor Heineke, who I've always been fond of and have high hopes for him in the NFL. I love Fitzpatrick, but then Fitzpatrick got that horrible injury into which Heineke ended up taking over. And as a starter, Taylor Heineke has been killing it. Rushing yards, multiple passing TDs. He's been great. He is flirting with must-start territory. He's startable, but he's flirting with must-start territory. So yeah, it's pretty lit. What was I talking? Yeah, Taylor Heineke, very startable, absolutely. Wide receiving situation, Terry McLaurin must start. Scary Terry has earned the must start status. He's a very good receiver, and he's been the receiver that's been keeping the Washington football team afloat for a couple of years now since he's entered the league. However, the other receivers, not like I said, not so bad, but let's see. Curtis Samuel, if healthy and he goes off in the game, he'll be a very valuable startable receiver or flex. And let's see. The other receivers have like not much value. And Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas was entering the must start territory for tight ends as well. However, he got injured and won't be out no back until like 3 weeks, I heard, maybe even more. But yeah, he is a capable, high fancy value tight end, and his like backup Ricky Seals Jones is entering at level 2. So that's pretty cool. Now we're at the running backs. The running backs, Antonio Gibson has been carrying this team for a while. He's in the must start territory at this point. He's definitely in the must start territory. JD McKissick is high end flex. He's a startable flex. He's very good and tricky. It's hard to like use magic sometimes. No way I say it's hard. No, it's hard to use McKissick sometimes because it's unpredictable. But McKissick is a high end flex, so definitely use him. I'm so tired. As for the Washington football team's defense, stay away from that. It's not the defense that was last season. It's gotten weak. They can't tackle. It's not a good defense. So yeah, maybe it might improve again, but stay away from it for now. Now it's time for my favorite team, the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles. Why did you? Jalen Hurts, QB for the Eagles. Must start category. He's in the must start. 20 points and over in every game that he's played so far as the starting QB. He's definitely in the must start category. Wide receivers, now that's a difficult issue. The Eagles have not had the best wide receivers fantasy wise, except for Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is startable to flirting with the must start territory, but it's too inconsistent, so it's not really gonna be must start yet. Quez Watkins has been getting good points, so he's been, if possible, he can be startable too. He's been getting really good points, fancy wise. Jalen Rager, stay away from them. Don't go for Rager, or Ward is even better than Rager fancy value wise. So stay away from Jalen Rager fancy wise. Tight ends, Dallas Goedert is a startable tight end. He's must start. Definitely must start at this point. Now that Zach Ertz is getting traded to the Cardinals, he's must start. I mean, he was shareable, but he was also must start, so he couldn't really do. He could do much, but he still had to share values with Zach Ertz. But Ertz is being traded to the Cardinals. Sad that he's going, but yeah, he's definitely going to get more of his value. Yeah, his fantasy value increased. As for the running game, yeah, Miles Sanders, capable running back, also has very good fantasy value when he's being used correctly. But there's one thing: he is not being used correctly. It sucks. But yeah, Miles Sanders, be wary about him on fantasy football. He's normally a must start. He might end up like that again, but now he's flirting with startable even. So yeah. And Kenneth Gainwell, also flirting in the flex category. He's not bad, but don't trust the inconsistency of the Philly offense. Now it's time for the Philly defense. Philly's defense is not bad. It's definitely not bad. But it's matchup dependent as well. So yeah, it could be better, but it's matchup dependent. So if you get Philly's defense, you can possibly use them. Now for the Giants. The Giants is a chaotic mess right now. But let's go to QB Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is actually entering must start territory. He's been killing it lately. His fantasy value is pretty high, so I can say he's definitely in must start. He's definitely in must start territory. Not must start yet, but he's in that territory. Now for the really crowded and stacked receiving core, led by Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard is startable in fantasy when he's healthy. Darius Slayton is a high end flex when he's healthy, but yeah, it's like and then there's also Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay has high fantasy value, but again, the health of these New York receivers is something else. And also, there's just so many of them. There's Slayton Flex, Sterling Shepard starter, Ken Galladay starter if able to come back. Kadarius Toney is starting to enter starter territory while these players are injured. Kadarius Toney is a player to look at with high fantasy level that is startable. He's starting to look startable. John Ross, nah, he's still inconsistent with Ross, but it is startable with Sterling Shepard, Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, and Darius Slayton. Tight end department, Evan Ingram's is not like super value anymore. He just takes it's really tiring. New York. As for the Evan Ingram tight end, used to have good fantasy value. It's been dropping due to lack of explosiveness and everything. Kevin Rudolph, also just like tight end, you can always look out for him. Like have maybe it's him as a decent backup in case his usage increases. And also running back situation, Saquon Barkley was re-entering the must-start territory again until he got the ankle injury. So it's up to Devontae. It's up to Devontae Booker to take his place as Wait, what if Devontae Booker is the like backup and starter? Yeah, he's going to have good fantasy value now that he's backing up for Saquon Barkley. So yeah, that's one thing. And for the defense is borderline weak, so you can't really trust it. It's matchup dependent too, so if it's like you're streaming and they're against a weaker opponent, you can go for it. That's all I can say on the matter. That's all for the NFC East. Now it's time to finally record the NFC West and the final NFC team. Thank you.